on a box tour.
Nice. These are all the boxes from the launch. Finally chucking them all out. Not much room in here, Jeff.
No, there's not. I've got a coffee morning this morning, you know. I've never been on a coffee morning before.
See you later. What are you going to do?
I'm going for coffee.
No, you're going to show me.
What?
You're going to show the world how
How the what? What am I supposed to show the world?
how great you are.
Oh. I'm going to show you how great I am!
If you follow my Instagram, you will know where that's from. Oh, look at this. Bang on time. We're on our way back to London today. Today's going to be a big day. It's going to be a big day.
Hi. So hungry. You know what I've had today?
What?
2 rounds of toast.
No goat's butter.
Ghost, but obviously.
We're back with Zach. He doesn't like London, it's too busy.
Too hectic. People walk too fast. Chill.
We're going to go and eat because food.
And then we're going to row all day.
Yup. This is a small table for a big man. £25 off Amazon. It's a treat. Press the bottom at the back. Oh, yeah. Now your phone is charging.
Sadly, it's not.
Is it not? Oh. That t-shirt just doesn't suit you. It's like CrossFit and you're massive. Hit it, Zach.
Huh?
We're a gym box. 2 floors down. Okay, man. They got a box in there.
Yeah.
Hey guys. Hey man. Nice to meet you. Alright. Good to see you.
Nice to see you again.
How are you?
Always good. I would love a coffee, yes.
What would you like?
A latte, please.
A latte.
Sorting out the lighting. It's all about the lighting. Today we're at the new gym box Victoria site. It's a pretty sweet gym. We're back with Cam Nichol, who is the owner of RowingWOD. He's going to take us for a load of rowing technique and changeovers and things like that. Because team, we have entered Team Black RowingWOD into the British Indoor Rowing Championships. The team consists of myself, Zach, Mike, and then hopefully Obi. But he's got a bit of a lat issue at the moment. So, that's some huge news. It's a team full of absolute animals and me. I'm pretty excited for it. The event itself is an actual 4K in a team of 4. You can switch over whenever you want, do as much distance as you want. Huge news. We're in the British Indoor Rowing Championships, the team of 4. Zach, Mike.
These rows are high. Strange.
And that's Jamie.
Hey, Colin.
Emma will be along shortly.
Jamie. There's our coach.
Yeah, hey. Awesome. Through the transitions of that as well, and we'll finish off with a CrossFit workout. Yeah? Nice little rowing one. Cool. Okay guys, just strap the machines in, like get into the machines as you normally would. Just start rowing for me and we'll start from there. Foot position is really important. It's something that we don't really think about. If you have your feet too high, it's quite difficult to get the length in a strong position. If your feet are a bit too low and very mobile, which I don't think any of us are going to yogi bendy type here just yet, but level on the damper setting, it's a bit of a best guess or a guide. So the more accurate way to prescribe it is with a thing called the drag factor. So if you hit menu on there, and then hit more options, you'll hit a little box. Cool, and there'll be nothing in that box, right? When we start rowing in a minute, there'll be a number that appears in that box, and what that is a very clever computer algorithm that it will give you the accurate resistance that you're feeling on the handle, okay? So if I take this machine and put it to level 5, but then bring it to Dubai or Iceland or somewhere else in the world, just because of factors like, you know, the air, humidity, temperature, all that kind of jazz. And also, if this machine and this machine are different ages, a bit more wear and tear, even though they're on 5, it could be completely different resistances, okay? So it's like having a barbell that's 20 kilos or 25 kilos. You'd never do that. So in rowing, always prescribe good resistance. So what I want you to do now is just row for me and see what that number is. So the number is essentially your resistance. Think about the drag factor as like gearing on a bike. If it's heavier, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be faster. If it's lighter, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be faster. You need to find out what's right for you. I would say for most big chaps, between 130 to 135 is great. I used to run 138 in the national team. That's almost right. The machine.
This is how crazy this is, team.
This is the more accurate way to describe it. Cool.
121.
Sweet.
134, his is the same. 128, his is the same.
So what we need to do is really simple. If you want to look like a pro, hold the handle in your right hand, and then with the other end of the handle, hit that down or hit that up. Boom! Now you're like a rowing pro. Cool. So if you want more resistance, whack the handle up, and then start rowing, and the number will change. Go forward with your good. Now push with the feet. Good. See how that's like a really good coiled sprint, and I'm having to work really hard, relax, to keep you from falling backwards. As soon as you push with the feet, you should be able to transmit force in the handle, just like a barbell. That first movement, we never do that, do we? Unless we're knackered. So it's the same sort of thing with a barbell, is that as soon as you push your feet, the arms are nice and long, right? As soon as you push the feet, that transmits force against the ground to lever the barbell up. Same thing on the rowing machine. And feel it underneath the armpits, like in the lats. Good, now relax. So that's what we want. We want that tension to be underneath the armpit in a really good coiled spring position. If we get that right, everything will just uncoil correctly and we'll have a nice speed on the machine. Okay? So no longer do we need to look for muscular effort and work on the machine. Just get yourself into a strong position, look to transmit force correctly on the handle, and the machine will take the work out of you. Rowing is roughly 60% legs, then 30% back, and about 10% arms. So try and think about the arms as literally just finishing the stroke off, just to meet the handle from here to here. And that second bit is it gets the handle cycling off the body nicely to take another stroke. Okay? So in this bit of rowing, what I want you to focus on is trying to use the legs and the back and lats more than the arms. Keep the arms nice and straight so the force is just stressed.
Those big arms, that's those guns. Hello. What's the common problem we see with crossfitters?
So one of the common problems is we get quite a lot of arms involved early on in the stroke. So a nice way to correct that is by keeping the arms straight. As soon as you push, the force will be transmitted directly from the handle into the lat and down into that kinetic chain. Any break in the arms means that my little gun here is taking that tension, and it's really hard to generate huge amounts of force with just your biceps.
Yep.
Think about how much you can deadlift compared to how much you can bicep curl. Different.
The point you were saying was a lot of crossfitters tend to have pretty big guns, and we tend to break our arm pretty early when we just pull. Always keep those arms straight. Transfer the power to the lat.
I want the connection between the handle to the foot plate to be perfectly connected at all points in the stroke. So right from the beginning, the catch, all the way until the handle meets the body, you need to be connected to the machine to ensure that you're still working to get force onto the machine, okay? So I'm always pushing the feet, and then when my feet are out of the straps, it should look exactly the same. So what you need to be doing is ensuring that those feet are still connected. A lovely way to do that with that feet out rowing, it just shows you whether you're keeping that connection appropriately or whether actually you're going a bit too far back and you can't stay connected to the machine and you're relying on that strap to bring you forward. So if you find that you're falling off the machine, it's likely you've always been doing that, but you haven't noticed because the safety belt's been there, okay? So what I want us to do now is just do some feet out rowing. and see where we are.
What was I doing? You can show the team.
So looking at your rowing when you're nice and fresh, it looks really nice, very good for a CrossFitter.
Hey!
But then what I was seeing is as you come back, your feet are coming away from the straps. And if you notice, if my straps are not done up, that'll be even more exaggerated. Like that.
Yeah.
And you're just basically doing this.
Yeah.
Every stroke.
Yeah.
There's an exaggeration. Cool.
Got to keep the connection at all times. You learn something new. This is what we do in CrossFit. We break down CrossFit into all the different sports and learn from the best of each one. Little things. Picking up on little things to make the rowing more efficient. If your feet come off at the end, you're not still in control. You're not continuing the drive. Cool. Another point. Smash that like button if you're enjoying this video.
The other thing with length is that everyone confuses length as like total length. Like, try and get all the way back here and all the way back here. Listen to this. This is me rowing at the same length, but completely different. Listen to this now. This is the first one. This is the second one. Which one's better, which one's slower, which one's faster, which one's... Yeah, why is the first one better? Sound like you were engaging earlier. Exactly. So can everyone hear that as well? Yeah. So I'm connecting where I should be at the beginning of the stroke. The second one, I'm missing that connection. So even though my length is here, I've actually missed out almost half the stroke. Because I've only got connected to about here. Does that make sense? So my affected connected length is actually this, whereas my total length is the same. So that drill of keeping the feet pressed out is really good to show you where is your connected length actually at. So in answer to your question, I feel like I'm sitting up here. Actually, you're probably got a longer effective length by rowing properly connected here to here, then missing the front bit, and then trying to pull back here and actually flying to the MC. So even though it feels weird, it might be a step in the right direction. Yeah. Or even it might be one step backwards to go 3 steps forward. Yeah. Cool. So let's just try...
Always learning, Zach.
Huh?
Always learning.
You're always learning. And you're like, oh bugger, the judge hasn't said go. The judge hasn't said go. I'll just press this button, yeah? And you'll be good for like another 45 seconds, a minute, it won't reset. If you get a bit nervous, just push one of these grey buttons and it will not reset on you.
What did you learn, Zach?
I learned you can just press this button instead of pressing these 1,000 times.
Yeah, look, if you press one of these, it has a different setting. I never knew that.
There you go. Learn something new every day.
Yeah, instead of just pressing the display over and over and over.
Job done.
God, second
Then
save
you always
for my
miss
life.
it, you always go past the one.
We are racing quite good people. I want us to do really well, and for us to do really well, we need to have everyone rowing really fast every time we're on the machine. We need to make no mistakes on the transitions, and our transitions need to be really quick. So we've already established that getting in and out of the machine is going to be where the most time is cost, right? Ideally, we have one person that can pull a 120 the whole time.
We're now doing race strategy. I think the plan is to do like quick 400, 500 meters and just literally synchronize switching over. People are holding each other's feet. It's going to be fun. So it's 9th of December at the Olympic Velodrome.
It's going to be hard anyway. Like, you're not going to be like, right, I've got 5 minutes.
If you guys can come and make it, come and watch, that'd be great. I'd love to have as many of you supported. This changeover stuff looks quite nerve-wracking if I'm going to be honest. One has to do it at exactly the same time, and I know it's probably going to look pretty fast, but it's going to feel super awful. It's like, let go of the straps, jump on the rower, put the straps. There's a lot more that goes into a 4K row with a team of 4 than you think.
Yeah. Nice one, mate. Well done. Yeah. Just left you.
5:33.
Yeah. Yeah. Well done. That was really good. Yeah. Okay. Well done, mate. That was really good. But it's really important keeping on that
5 minutes and 33 seconds to do a 2K. Yeah. Not flat out. Just at the end they made me go flat out.
That was good. That's quite a fast time. Yeah. It's sad to think that actually
they got off with nearly 300 metre sprint to finish, Craig. No worries.
Really good. That was really good.
Everyone's deserving it.
Hello?
On my own.
Hey mate.
There's a lost sack of
Hey dude. Alright. So,
just calculating how much gains he'll make doing this. How much muscle mass he'll put on doing this.
how much muscle mass will we put on Zach doing this?
Doing what?
This workout.
I'll be pumped after this. I'll be a good kilo heavier. Trip for a Friday night.
That's the sell of rowing. It makes your biceps much
That
bigger.
big. I've just been trying to row a bit more.
If you're doing it incorrectly.
3, 2, 1.
Oh yeah! That was fun!
Legs. 4 legs.
You're struggling, Zach. You're struggling.
Let's go so fast and squash the breakfast and keep what it can.
What was the last one? Rowing for calories and rowing for meters.
Cool.
What's the difference? What should we do? How should we set it?
Yeah. So everyone thinks about rowing calories and meters as, well, there's two schools of thought. They're the same or they're completely different. So this just separates the myth. Your technique shouldn't change. Everyone's heard of the kind of like, oh, 1 pull per stroke, 1 pull per calorie. That's based on an observation of what they see. The technique shouldn't change. You should be rowing with great rhythm, getting that nice efficient movement pattern so that you're maximizing the speed on the machine. What does need to change slightly is just the approach to it. So you need to make sure that when you're rowing for calories, that you are not sort of resting while you're rowing, which was something that came out of some of the stuff in the Open a couple of years ago. If you rest while you're rowing on calories, you'll get punished for that with a much slower time. Rowing for meters, you'll be able to get away with it slightly more, and the reason for that is that the meters continuously tick, whereas on calories, you've kind of got to work for that extra calorie, and it only shows you when you're then to the next calorie after you've taken a stroke. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. That's what I strongly suggest to you guys, is that, you know how you said before, I want to get good at rowing for like CrossFit competitions, or I want to get good at rowing for like, you know, fitness racing and stuff?
Yeah.
Don't think about it like that. Don't think about, oh, I've got to get good at rowing for CrossFit. Just get good at rowing.
Yeah.
Because when you get good at rowing, you will be fitter, you'll have a more efficient movement pattern, you'll have a faster 2K, absolutely, and it means when rowing comes up in any competition, you'll just be better at it.
Yeah.
And I like to think of it as 3 things. So that rowing is a skill, absolutely. When it comes up in a workout, great, you'll be better at it. But it also, the second big thing is that it extrapolates into so many other movement patterns, like that triple extension movement, posterior chain driven movement. I found, like you seem to, I'm alright at doing some other stuff because I've got an engine that's been built in a certain time domain, and also in that similar movement pattern, I'm alright at box jumps, wall balls, you know, anything with kind of a light triple extension movement because of that rowing base. But the third thing, and I think this is the most important thing, and the thing that separates out people that are always on the podium versus those that are not quite yet on the podium, and it's like the thing between your ears. I can't like stress enough that when I was rowing, like there's 30 guys in a team, and we used to just grind away three sessions a day, just all the time. You don't come through that process being weak-minded, you have to be strong-minded. And I think that the sport of CrossFit now, it's great to see it getting faster and fitter, and it's, you know, growing all the time. But the top end, you just have to be bloody strong. And the way that you do that is by training that mindset. Like it is a thing that you can train. I really strongly believe that. You're not just born as someone that is a champion and born as someone that can just push themselves harder than everyone else. There's something there, whether you know it or not, like in your childhood or like training, you will build that mindset. Like Ben Bergeron talked about it a lot, like he trains that mindset with like capturing that and everyone. And I really believe that. That's what we used to do in rowing all the time, is that we didn't necessarily have sports psychology sessions so much, but we would just use that grind, and when you come through that process, you've got something that's really strong between the ears. So if you try and focus on getting a fast 2K, just give yourself a challenge, like, right, I'm going to try and break X for 2K. In coming through that process, you will have a better skill, you'll have a physically stronger, fitter body, and the thing between your ears will be to another level. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So don't think about it like I need to get better at rowing for CrossFit. Just get better at it because I promise you it will extrapolate so much more than just being good at rowing for CrossFit.
What an afternoon that was. I hope you guys learned something off that video. May have been a long one, but if you stuck with it, I hope you learned something about your rowing. Oh, it's dark. We came in here when it was light. We leave when it's dark. I say, Zach, take off your jacket.
Man's not hot.
See you later, mate.
See you in 2 weeks' time.
See you in 2 weeks.
Do you think we're going to beat the Olympians?
Yes, we are.
What do you think, Craig?
I believe.
I believe.
We'll beat the Olympians, won't we, Zach?
Yeah, I have faith.
We have faith.
We can do it.
We're CrossFitters.
Our transitions are insane.
I tell a man's not hot.
I said, Zach, take off your jacket. He said,
Man's not hot. Okay.
I found your car, Zach.
Yeah, mate, that would suit me. Look at it. Camo. 6 wheels. Waller.
If that car didn't suit Zach, I don't know what would. Look at that blue one in front as well. My future car, your future car. Can you imagine trying to drive that around?
Yeah, horrendous.
Parking.
3 parking spaces.
I tell a man's not hot.
Take off your jacket.
Man's not hot.
2 stations, Metropolitan line, can't go wrong.
I'm smashing this one.
Man's not hot. I hope he makes it. He's terrible with directions.